All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the XBHP XR Tour of India. This tour is actually a virtual tour, first of its kind in India that we know of, and this has been precipitated by the pandemic that is going on. But in case you don't know, we've actually gone around India 8 times on different kind of motorcycles and super bikes. So this is also a first one for us, but it has not dampened our spirits. Now, today we have finally reached the cities of Bangalore, Krishnagiri, and Coimbatore. And before we move ahead and introduce the panel to you for today, I would like you to see the visuals from these cities as we captured in our previous rides. So here we go.
On the occasion of 17 years of XBHP, we decided to do an all-India ride on the Information Superhighway, a virtual tour that we called XBHP Ek Saath. Flagged off from Delhi on the 4th of July with the panelists discussing about the history of motorcycling in India and Delhi, followed by the cities of Agra and Lucknow, which discussed the heritage value of motorcycling in India. Going clockwise, next up were the cities of Asansol and Burdwan, which discussed how motorcycling is growing in small villages and towns of India. Moving forward, we reached the cities of Kolkata, Siliguri and Bhubaneswar, where we discussed the concept of unity in diversity with respect to motorcycling in India. Then came the cities of Vizag, Hyderabad and Chennai, where we discussed motorsports in India. From where we moved forward to Kochi and Trivandrum, discussing long-distance touring. And today, we are in the cities of Bangalore, Krishnagiri and Coimbatore. Coimbatore, Krishnagiri and Bengaluru. Not only these cities are surrounded by some very beautiful landscapes, but these cities, especially Coimbatore and Bengaluru, have played a big role in shaping the motorcycling culture in the country.
All right, so beautiful weather in Bangalore and the Kari Speedway in Coimbatore and the natural beauty of Krishnagiri. We have all experienced this before, but today we have some eclectic motorcyclists with us that I'm going to introduce you to. But before that, have a look at the map in front of you on your screens. And this is the route that we are following. In fact, this is a route we have been following on real road trips, on real roads, but this one is on the Information Superhighway. So we started on 4th of July and going clockwise. Now we are down south, Coimbatore, Bengaluru and Krishnagiri. So now I'm going to introduce you to the panel for today, starting with Dr. Nandakumar, who is our chief guest, 82 years old, also is known as the yoga biker. He's from Krishnagiri. Sujit Kumar, who's also a chief guest. He's the vice president of FIM Asia and the chairman of FMSCI Two Wheels Racing Commission. He's also a multiple National Rally Championship winner. Then we had to Fanikar, who's our XBHP Spock from Bangalore, followed by Karthikya, who's the XBHP Spock for Coimbatore. Then we have Mohammad Mujassam, who's the XBHP Spock for Krishnagiri and also from Team 24 Bikers. Bullu Biker, who's an avid tourer and YouTuber, he joins us from Bangalore. Ashwara Pise, who's an international racer from TVS Racing, is also from Bangalore here with us. Samrat Ghorse, who's a CEO of 6K Isle of Man Superstore, who is an also avid cyclist, he's also from Bangalore. Vikas Man, who is the co-owner of Carbonado India and also an avid cyclist, he's also from Bangalore. Soban Ahmed, he's a motorcyclist and XBHPN from Bangalore. Santush Venkataram from Bangalore. Ilam Parithi from Selim Riders Club in Krishnagiri. Navneet, who is a professional racing instructor from Racer Academy in Bangalore. Manjunath Vishwakarma, who's also a motorcyclist and XBHPN from Bangalore. Nitin Ganesh, who's a technologist, entrepreneur, gamer, biker, and artist from Bangalore. Tarun Kumar S., who's the founder of CRA, Coimbatore Racing Academy. Manan Chaturvedi, Ankita, who's also known as High Heels Motorcyclist, core team, and yours truly, photographer. So here is a panel for today. And before I move ahead and share the topic with you, please have a look at your screens. This is an opportunity for any one of you who's watching a live video right now to join XBHP core team and work with us. You will have a definite career path. A lot of people ask us, how can we join XBHP on international rides, all those 60 countries that you have done, all the beautiful machines you ride, and how can we influence the whole community in general? Well, there are two ways. Either you can do it on your own, or you can join us as well and be in the core team, and you will have a definite career path in which you can do all of these things. So send your resumes to info@xbhp.com. And what we need is that you will need to relocate to Delhi in case you are selected. And you will also need to be good in communication skills. And we also prefer photographers and someone with a creative bent. Now, carrying on with the session. So the topic for today is, what does motorcycling mean to you? It's a very general meanings to different people. But this question will be supplemented by a specific question to each one of the panelists here. Now, let me start with Dr. Nanda Kumar, who is our chief guest. Sir, you may unmute yourself.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Good evening. Good evening,
sir. Honored to have you here again with us. It's a great honor, and you are our mentor. You are many things to us and all the bikers around India. Now, before I ask Nanda Kumar the question, I again want to reiterate, he's 82 years old. He still rides super bikes. He still cycles a lot. And, we all aspire to be like you when we are at your age, fit as you. That is what, we want, all of us. Now, sir, my question to you is, number one is, what does motorcycling mean to you? And also, there was a study which says that motorcycling actually keeps people young. But what is your secret? As we can see on the screen right now, you're perhaps 80 years of age. The live viewers can see that photo. And basically, you are stretched out almost completely on the ground, touching your head. I mean, definitely I cannot do that. I mean, 99% of the people cannot do that. But sir, what is your secret and what does motorcycling mean to you?
Hi, Sunny. First of all, let me congratulate you on the XBHP for the 17 years for XBHP, for the biking community. It's a very difficult question for me to answer because it's a way of life for me. You can see the t-shirt I'm wearing. You can see the words there. It's something which at my age, people ask me, how can you do this? See, I prefer doing something which people, when they ask me, I can't do. So biking I actually live for biking. By profession, I'm a doctor, but I'm more known in Krishnagiri and the biking community more for my biking and where I've been riding for the past 55 years. So biking has taught me a lot. It has gotten me through my difficult periods in life, happy times and all that. And but for my biking thing, I don't think being a doctor, maybe I would have known to my patient in Krishnagiri. But being a biker, I am known all over India, not only in India. Even in Australia, I have friends. I have in UK, I have friends and all that. So biking means a lot to me in my life. So how do I keep myself fit by riding all these years? It all started with my father's cycle when I was 10 years old. It all started in a rally bicycle. Then I started riding from 1965. So I've been riding for the past 55 years. And as I told you, it's given me for something to live for. In my difficult times, and then when I'm happy, I always take my bike out for like even this COVID-19 period. I've been riding except for the where it is completely locked down. The other days I've been keep on riding all my bikes. See, I have about 8 bikes with me, so I have to take a bike every day. So whatever I do, whenever I get up in the morning, the first thing I do is look after my bikes, then take one of them for a ride. So I've been riding and I have had my accidents and all that. But I don't think people would have had the amount of accident I have had. They would have given up biking much before now. But as you say, Sunny, I've been a ex-beachman for the past nearly 10 years. The first time I met you was in Chennai when I rode from Krishnagiri with my Wheel Wonders group to meet the bikers there in Chennai. So I've been meeting you in every ride of your All India ride in Krishnagiri, and it's been a pleasure meeting you on your 14th. So my advice to the bikers. So when I started riding in 1965, it was a completely different scenario to what it is today. At that time, the traffic is not as it is today, and you don't have that many bikes for you to choose and all that. See, what I'm saying is, in those days, it was a carefree ride. We didn't have to look out for other people on the road. We have to, see, every time you ride, you have to think about where you are going to fuel next time. Otherwise, you will be get caught up on the highway somewhere. I have been caught up on my bike from Krishnagiri to Tuticorin. I got about 5 kilometers from Madurai. I got held up. So now it is not like that. So everything is changed. You can choose your bike. You can do everything you want with your bike. If you have money, you can buy anything. But what I feel is the younger generation, they should go from a lower capacity bike and go for a higher bike for say 1,200 cc or like that. My first bike was a Bullet. But in 1970s, I had a Triumph Thunderbird 650cc. And I've ridden most of the time British twins, like Norton. I had a Norton Dominator. I had a BSA. I had a Maxus and all those things. Now I have a Bandit and I have a Triumph for A3. And other bikes which I have is Gixxer 150cc. I have a Bullet 350cc, 69 model. And I have got a 100cc Dio. And I have a Navi. I have a Access and all that. So it's not about what you ride. It's about what the bike teaches you on your every ride. See, I've been riding for the past 55 years, but every time I go out for a ride, it teaches something new. So you have to keep on learning when you're on your two-wheeler. So my advice to the present day riders is, you know your limitations, whether it is a super bike or it is a 100cc bike or it is just a moped. So you have to look out for other people on the road. You have to follow rules and you have to wear your riding gears. Helmet is a must. Your jacket is a must. You have a proper boots for the riding and all that. These are the things which you have to follow, Sunny. Over to you, Sunny.
Well, thank you so much, sir. And everyone who's watching right now, especially the younger generation, you better listen to Dr. Nandakumar because he's more than triple your age, most probably, and he's still there, healthy and alive, and he still rides. So he knows what he has done right. So you better listen to him. And now, thank you so much, sir. And now we're going to move to our second chief guest here, who's Mr. Sujit. Sir, you welcome, and thank you so much for taking out time today. I might reiterate, he is the Vice President of FIM Asia and the Chairman of FMSCI Two-Wheel Racing Commission. He's also a multiple National Rally Championship winner. So he knows his stuff both on the ground and now He's doing a lot of things for motorsports in India. So my question to you is, sir, is that you are the vice president of FIM Asia, which is responsible for motorcycle racing in 28 plus countries in the Asian region. And that is a very big thing. And you are also responsible in many ways through FMSCI for the quality events that happen around our country. So can I ask you, what does motorcycling mean to you, and what is that one thing our country needs from the government itself so that motorsports can actually really grow in India?
Yeah. First of all, I would like to congratulate ex-BHP for 17 years. And you're doing a fabulous job in getting all the motorcycle fraternity together. For me, I would say motorcycles have defined my career in motorsports. It all started by chance when I participated in a club level rally on a motorcycle as a navigator, and how that changed the direction of my sporting career, moving to professional rallies on bikes, then to cars, till I retired from rally. And it has taken me to the heart of international motorcycle racing through FMSCI and FIM Asia, and has come define me as a person and as a public figure. Now, my passion for motorcycles sees me along with FMSCI and the members of the FMSCI Two-Wheeler Racing Commission in the vanguard of the development of racing in India. It has a development path for young riders and also for women to come into the sport. I believe that India will eventually produce champions through this infrastructure. Successful women like we have Aishwarya here in the sport are doing much to attract new fans and youngsters into the sport. Our ultimate aim is to lift the standard of Indian motorcycle racing internationally. And now to come to your second question. The single best thing the government can do is to ease the restrictions that prevent international events from being held in India. We need government support to facilitate importing of race machinery and parts to enable India to attract international events and to produce more international champions.
Sir, race on Sunday and ride on Monday. So this philosophy is actually true for many countries, but we have yet to see Indian motorcyclists essentially hit the track. And now we already know that there is a dearth of racing tracks in India. So I have a question. I do not understand. There's so many people with so much money in India who can go and make racing tracks. Why is it that we are not having those kind of facilities? There's only BIC like at that level. And my second question is, when can we actually see WSBK, which almost came in 2012, if I'm not wrong, to India?
See, right now we have 3 race tracks. We have Buddha International Circuit, as you know, is one of the top circuits in India. And we also have the MMSC track in Chennai, which is also a grade 2 FIA standard racing track. And now it is being upgraded to world-class standards. I've heard that we are going to get a few more tracks very soon, which I won't be able to give you more info on. The first thing is the cost of real estate. To build a base track, you need to have a proper infrastructure in a proper city, which costs a lot of money. And I don't know, we should be able to get somebody to invest in it very soon.
Right. So I'm talking to someone who's the closest to FIM in the sense that, for WSBK right now. So when can we actually see that? And now the pandemic has come in, so we actually don't know. But all these years it wasn't there anyway. So any word on that?
See, the promoters and FIM as well are very much interested to come to India. But there are a few changes which has to be done on the circuit in terms of the homologation of the tracks, which is already existing. Once that is done, I don't think, and now that we also have a lot of manufacturers which are who are supporting two-wheeler sport in India, with all their support, and I think we should push to have it soon.
Well, thank you so much, sir. I think we need to have a live session just with you on XBHP later on. And you've got a great knowledge and experience, which needs to be shared. So I will move on to Fanikar in Bangalore. And Fanika, you may unmute yourself. You've already done that. So thank you so much for leading the XBHP baton and in Bangalore. And my question is, of course, what does motorcycling mean to you, and how have you seen motorcycling grow, especially in Bangalore?
Okay. Firstly, I would like to congratulate everyone who who made it for this virtual meet. And to answer your question, for me, it started as a sheer excitement, probably about close to 2 decades. As like most people do, it started with a puny kinetic Honda, then upgraded to a Bajaj M80, and the journey goes on. The journey kickstarted from there. So over the past few years, I've had this opportunity to meet a lot of people, both on bikes and off it. And it's given me widespread exposure over how we see things in life, not just with respect to biking, but an overall perspective. So, and coming to the biking scene specifically in Bangalore, yes, there has been a very noticeable change, because say about 15 or 20 years ago, there were maybe, as far as I know, there was the Royal Enfield clubs and the SD and Java clubs, and very few clubs which actually promoted motorcycling in Bangalore. But with new machinery that is coming into the arena, and of course the spirit of motorcycling in the people in and around Bangalore. So there has been a considerable change which is coming. As far as I've seen closely with Bangalore and Chennai and Coimbatore for that matter, so the inclination towards touring than track racing is more in Bangalore compared to Chennai and Coimbatore. Of course, because of the infrastructure they have and the proximity to better trainers and the tracks, of course.
Right. Thank you so much, Fanika, for your inputs, and congratulations to all of us, including you. Now, I would like to break this chain of conversation with some music, which Shutter-Vedi is going to sing, I think, maybe for a minute.
Make some arrangements. Even now, it's done. All right. So, as Sunny has already said, that I have to break the chain here. While people are breaking the chain and are working very hard to break the chain, okay, people have already started to say Tamil. I'll sing something different today. So that is something which I would love to do. Because as a biker, most of us wants to just explore things. We have so many dreams, as we were discussing, that so many bikers are there who wants to maybe get into racing. The racetracks are not there, or the COVID is there. We cannot go for the tourings. So I have one song in my mind. Maybe I'll just quickly go ahead and sing that. So the song is आंखों में सपने लिए घर से हम चल तो दिए जाने ये राहें अब ले जाएंगी कहाँ मिट्टी की खुशबू आए, पलकों पे आंसू लाए, पलकों पे रह जाएगा यादों का जहां, मंजिल नहीं है अनजाना है कारवां, चलना अकेले है यहाँ, तन्हा दिल तन्हा सफर, ढूंढे तुझे फिर क्यों नजर, तन्हा दिल तन्हा सफर, ढूंढे तुझे फिर क्यों नजर, तन्हा दिल, वो वो तन्हा दिल. So that is what is there in my mind.
That's
Because
Chaturvedi.
yeah, that was me. That was Chaturvedi, and I think with that I will bring back the real bikers over there. I'm also a real biker, but I'm not the one who's talking about bikes right now. So.
All right. So thank you so much, Manan, for that. And now I would like to ask Aishwarya, who's present with us, who's an international racer from TVS Racing and also from Bangalore. But I think the question should be asked by the only other lady biker in this panel, which is Ankita. Please go ahead.
Hello, Aishwarya. Hi. I hope you're definitely getting bored in the house due to the COVID situation. But that's why we have come up with the virtual meet live sessions and for you all. So this is the question from my end that if you were a man, would it have been easier for you to climb the ladder of success in motorsports in India, particularly? What is the first step? Just tell me. Then I'll ask another question.
Okay. So firstly, happy anniversary, guys. You guys have been doing a wonderful initiative this COVID times to be able to connect with everybody around India and all the bikers here. I think to what you asked, honestly, being at home hasn't been boring. It has technically made more room to improvise with what we have and work with the things that we have. And I have been keeping myself occupied with training, and that's how my life has been interesting. You asked me if it would be easier for me if I was a guy in motorsports to be able to be more successful. Honestly, the struggle is real in motorsports. It's not about being a man or woman. The struggle is real for an athlete. And I think that is the struggle that I've had to go through. And I think that is what I would have gone through if I was a guy. I don't think I would think about wanting to be in any other place. And to your second question, which is first steps for women to get into motorcycle racing, is going to be there is this TVS Racing's One Make Women's Championship Cup that happens every year, and they have a selection process that happens every February and March, where women can sign up through online websites or Instagram, and all these are the places that people could reach out. And I think that's how that's one of the ways that women can get into motorcycle racing, by opting to go there for the training and selection process. And yeah, I think that's a few of the things that I could suggest.
Aishwarya, and thank you so much that you have trained me as well. Like when I came to Bangalore for TVS Racing training, so I was there too, and you trained me. So thank you so much, and you're doing tremendously good, seriously. And my last question to you is finally the topic. If the topic says that finally what motorcycling means to you, so what it actually means to you. Over to you.
I think motorcycling for me is a way of life. Ever since I've started riding motorcycles, it's given me a sense of freedom. And I think racing is something that defines me at this point. So motorsports and motorcycles all in all is a way of life for me.
Everybody, and not even the female motorcyclist, for male motorcyclists too, who are not into racing or who wants to go for more motorsports. Now let's go to Sunny again. Sunny, over to you.
Thank you so much, Aishwarya. And now, since I have the opportunity to go to Samrat from 6K Isle of Man, and Samrat, hello and welcome. And I really wish we were you were in Isle of Man probably right now. I mean, that is one country that I have not been to yet out of the 60 countries that I've ridden in. But, my question to you is, why are there so less stores like 6K Isle of Man, superstores, multi-brand stores in India? And what is a vision of 6K IOM? And finally, of course, what does motorcycling mean to you?
Okay, first of all, good evening, everybody. Aishwarya, one, it's really nice to have seen you after a while. All the very best, God bless. And I see a lot of other faces I have not seen in a while. So hi to all you guys. And of course, congratulations on your 17th anniversary, and wish to be a part of XBHP in the many years to come, and how we can collaborate and have this biking community grow bigger by leaps and bounds. So that's what I wish. And most important, happy and safe riding. So that's the whole motto of Samrat Ghodke, is about safe riding. Now, to start with your first question, I'm sorry if I would get the sequence of questions a little wrong, but then the idea is to just convey what I would love to. So the first thing that comes to my mind is why there are so many, not many superstores with many brands in the country. It's for a few reasons that I know of. Is unfortunately, correct me if I'm wrong, India as a brand knows only about 3 brands or 4 brands that are there. Since the time I grew up riding, I started riding with TVS 50 XL way back in 1985-86. Okay, and that's the time I started modifying my TVS, and that's when the motocross happened in Palace Grounds. So that's the beginning of my exposure to bikes and to be riding. So all we kind of grew up with is we had very few brands. We have a Denizzi, we have an Alpinista, we have a City, we have an Arai or a AGV. So these are the kind of brands which have kind of set trend in our country, because that's what I grew up on hearing and understanding. So the scope for other brands to come in was a little less, because a lack of information, lack of knowledge, lack of awareness. So it is a challenge when you bring in something new into an atmosphere. When you bring in something for somebody to accept, it's not something that happens very quickly. Be connecting, starting, going through the grind is not something that everybody would want to do. You'd have to have some crazy people like me to be doing that. I'm sure there are a few others also, but then that's how it is. I would say God's been kind. I have a few friends and well-wishers. I have Navneet, I have Bullu Biker, I have Sujit, Manju. There are so many people who've been talking, speaking, and exposing 6K IOM. I'm just saying the names who are on this guest list today, but like that there are many people. Chini sir has been a great help. There's so many, Gautam, Tadam, and the likes. And so it is not an easy task to start something, get too many new brands in, and then make business out of it. It's easier for me because for me it's all about safety. I've had my share, like sir said, like Nanda Kumar sir said, he's had his share with the accidents and the falls and the damages that he's made to himself. So I have had quite a few myself. So that's what actually stopped me from riding way back in 95. I had a serious accident, which put me off riding for almost a year. So I was kind of bedridden for more than a year. And I still kind of suffer from the things that happened to me then. So riding is something which I'm very passionate about. But then, of course, with the experience that I've had, which is not which I would not want to come upon anybody. But then, yes, I mean, there is a learning. So that's where the safety part of it came in. And it so happened that, like I said, I've got some good friends in the riding community, in the riding business, a lot of family who keeps riding. So, I said, why not, and if I can do something, give back to the riding community and start this whole journey of the 6K Isle of Man, of course, with a very dear friend of mine, Push who heads the Kivraj family. So this is a kind of a collaboration that Push and myself, we kind of took it to the next level, and here I am trying to bring in more brands, good brands, value for money, exposing the younger generation to a lot more good stuff, which is economical. I mean, it doesn't have to be really expensive to have some good riding gear. So that, I think, answers the second part of the question. Third, where we would want to go, first thing is to the Isle of Man, and I wish we'd all be there, and given the opportunity, touch one of the most sacred soil on earth, as in for a biker. So that's how the kind of name also stands. We're about 5,600 miles from the Isle of Man. So that's how we kind of round it off to 6,000. We Indians are very good at rounding off things. So that's how the 6,000, and 6,000 is a good number. So we said, chalo 6,000 miles to the Isle of Man. And hopefully in the coming years, we as in 6,000, 6K IOM would be doing things at the Isle of Man also. And it would be great to have, if not all of you, at least a few of you, to be a part of that association that we would do. Future is probably we have this mother store here, and we would have a few satellite stores in the other metros or in the other cities. We look at about 5-6 cities that we're looking at. God willing, we do that as well. Yeah. So I guess the latest, and like what Mr. Sujit was saying, it's about, just to continuing Mr. Sujit, what you were talking about is about having racing now. So it's all about giving back to society. So 6K IM is only about giving back to the biking community. Now, what is it that we can do? So that's where I kind of gave you a kind of a sneak peek of the motor trainer. That's the latest, and that's my passion now. It's all about bringing racing to everybody at your doorstep. So I'm sure Navneet is one who's been after for a while now, and he's been really at it, and he's been one of the guys who's like been there and saying that, sir, when. So finally it's happening. So just to quickly say, if the motor trainer and things like that, the motor trainer is there because we have a lot of limitation in India as such. Like Mr. Sujit very rightly said, we don't have too many tracks. It's quite an expensive affair. It's not something very easy. Aishwarya is one of the greatest champion or one of the person who's endured so much of pain, struggle, and been there, and she's been consistent, and that's how she is where she is. Many of the boys also try and do that. Everybody is trying to do that, and a few are successful. So my heart goes out to the ones who are struggling, who are there, and who really want to make it. So the motor trainer gives them an opportunity for the academies to be training more children, more young ones, give more talent an opportunity, and make it a lot more economical, so that really don't have to go all the way to the tracks. You could do something in your backyard. You could do something at the academy. You could do something indoors. The rain, shine, tracks, no petrol, eco-friendly. You don't burn rubber. You train a lot, and then you actually do this stuff on track. So that's something very dear to my heart that I'm holding right now, and I'm sure that this would help. And I'm sure with Mr. Sujit's help and the FMSCI's support and things, of course, I would be getting in touch with you and the FMSCI to see as to how we can take this forward and put it across to the great Indian country that we are, and just get in more and more young guns riding and taking our name to the next level. So yeah, I guess that. There are a few things that I would like to share, and of course, of the biking, the motorcycling. I kind of do a little bit of cycling around because, of course, with Mr. Nandakumar sir being there, at our age we need to try and do whatever we can to keep ourselves healthy. And the lockdown is a good thing, so that we could do some cycling and things like that. So it just keeps you going. And that's what I love to do as well. So yeah, that's a little bit from my side.
Well, so thank you so much, Samrat. I mean, that was a lot of insights, and perhaps we'll have a talk, more lengthier talk later on. But I just would like to say on behalf of well, a lot of people, especially since patriotism is actually running high in the air. So I would like to see Indian brands like Rhinox, Axor, Carbonado, Blue Snap all over the world. That is what I want. And why not, Samrat? Maybe 1,300 miles to BIC or 200 miles to MMRT. Maybe next you can do that. All right, thank you so much, Samrat, for that. Now I would like to move on to Bulu Biker. So who's an avid tourer and a YouTuber from Odisha, but he's residing in Bangalore. And do we have you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. So my question to you is that as a YouTuber who can influence a lot of young minds, what are your rules or ethos that guide you to create content, which also should be a guiding principle for YouTubers who are starting out? Because there are a lot of young people who, watch your channel. If you say this motorcycle or this helmet is good, they might be drawn into it. They will be drawn into it. And many of them might end up buying it. So, how can you inculcate that those kind of ethos that despite being a YouTuber, you are true to what you are doing?
All right.
Motovlogging, especially. Yeah.
Yes. So actually, Sunny, how this YouTube thing works. So every day I get about like 10 to 15 emails from different brands. So what I do is I have to make it. I have to make myself sure that the brands which I should work with has got that kind of reputation and has got that kind of, let's say if you're talking about any helmets or something into the riding gears, I have to make sure that the quality of gears are good. About the YouTube thing, what I have seen is, see, these days, I think every other guy who has a bike and who has action cam is a YouTuber. And basically everyone wants to do vlogging and everyone wants to make a life out of it. So what I focus mostly on my channel is my videos are very simple. So I had been riding for quite a lot of time, almost 15, 16 years. I had been doing a lot of long distance touring. And my videos are very simple, very easy to understand. And also the main advantage with my channel is that people kind of connect to me. So that is one reason for which the videos actually get viewed by the whatever audience. If you see, I'm not a very fashionable guy. No style of speaking, nothing. A simple guy, a simple person from Odisha. And what I have seen, so apart from the riding gears and all, what the major questions which I receive in my channel is that a lot of people keep asking me, "Ki Bulu bhai, I want to go to Ladakh or I wanted to do a trip of lifetime." So I'm just waiting to buy a right kind of bike or right kind of motorcycle to do this kind of trip. So what I've understood is people kind of in real life kind of try to find excuses that unless and until I find this thing or I achieve this thing, then I'm going to do this. So that's never going to happen. So I had been like working into corporate companies for the last 15 years. I think for the last 10 years, I've already left my job because I felt that if I have to do something, I have to do it today. So that is one reason for which I actually left my job. Then I started something into motorcycling and all that happened. So I just wanted to advise one single thing is that, if you wanted to ride, just ride. It doesn't matter what bike you have. So I'll just share one small incident in the year 2003. So I had been doing a lot of trips. So I had some bike, I had a Pulsar, and then I had been on a trip, and there was an incident where there were like 3 guys who actually robbed me, and they actually robbed my motorcycle. It was just nearby to my place. I was riding from Hyderabad to Bhubaneswar. So almost 1,000 kilometers I have done in a day, almost 20 hours of riding. And at that point of time, these 3 guys, they actually had some weapons, and then they robbed my motorcycle. And that was my first motorcycle. Just imagine that I have just joined a job where you get a salary of about like 3 to 4 thousand rupees in the year 2002 or 2003, and out of that you have to pay EMI for this motorcycle, and then I lost it. And when I landed up at my home, then everyone shouted like, "Why did you come in a bike?" When I went to file a case at the police station, the police also was surprised. He said, "Is it real that you came riding from Hyderabad to here?" So basically, it was very difficult. And that point of time, the insurance claim system was also not online. It was very difficult. And my vehicle was an Andhra Pradesh registered vehicle. The insurance was there, and then I have to claim the insurance. I mean, the case and everything has to be filed in Odisha. So that was a challenge. So what happened? The very next thing I did was, because I was at a job, so I have to relocate back to Hyderabad. So that point of time, I didn't have money, but I really wanted to ride. So that is how we actually. So in Hindi, I usually say in my videos that कि लाइफ में जो चीजें हम लोगों को रेस्ट्रिक्ट करता है वही चीजें हम लोगों को लाइफ में बहुत कुछ सिखाता है. So that point of time, I didn't have money. Then I borrowed some money from my friend to pay a down payment of a new bike. And insurance claim settlement took about 8 to 9 months because things were quite difficult at that point of time. Explaining them was also difficult. So I bought a TVS Star City. I remember it was the cheapest bike available at that point of time, around I think 25,000 or something. So in that bike, in the first year itself, I did about 48,000 kilometers. So the whole point was that doesn't matter what kind of bike you have. See, might be that as on date, a lot of people, as they see that we buy premium bikes at this point of time, they feel that it is just because of the premium bikes you could do a lot of trips,
So,
and we are enjoying our rides.
Sorry to interject you here. Because you're the only YouTuber here that I know of
Right.
in this panel right now. So,
Uh-huh.
my question was that just tell me, what are the ethos? Like, how should someone start a YouTube channel? I mean, what people
Okay.
do so that they don't mislead other
Right.
people in motovlogging. That's it.
Right. Okay. So if it is purely about motovlogging, I think, see, the problem with YouTube is that it is very unreliable. Okay. I mean, you may find out YouTubers who has got like millions of subscribers and still the views on the videos are not that great. So basically, if you are not talking logic, I mean, you're not talking logically, then any point of time, even though you have millions of subscribers, people are not going to watch you. So you have to be, it has to be realistic. Second, actually the most what you call the major thing that you have to take care is that you have to be yourself. See, everyone has got a style to present, and there is audience for everyone. I mean, whatever is your style, definitely there is someone who would like to watch. So it is all about connecting to the right kind of audience. So if you start playing, so what happens now? Most of the YouTubers, they start playing different roles. I mean, like they get inspired from some other YouTubers or vloggers, and they just try to copy them. So we have to understand is that guy whom you're trying to copy is that guy, and you are yourself. So if you are yourself, then obviously you'll have a very good career in motovlogging and all that. So just be yourself.
Wow. So that was some really nice advice. And, I wish you all the best in your journey ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing all the insights. And, now I just want to say, go back to 6K Isle of Man and just, tell everyone who's watching live that they have a 17% sale, which is going on right now on the occasion of 17 years of XPHP. So anything that you want to buy from their website, be it Tai Chi, be it any expensive or cheap gear, there will be 17% discount that you can avail of. So I think you should log on to 6K of Isle of Man and avail of this offer. So all right. Now let me actually, one more thing I want to draw. We're going to show you a video of a new helmet. So that helmet is called Speed of Thought. And what Bullu said that, things which restrict us, they also teach us a lot of things. So here in the video, you will see the number 299, which is actually the number which is agreed by the gentleman's agreement to restrict the superbikes. I mean, you cannot see a number more than 399 on superbikes these days. So hence, I would take this opportunity to show you our second special edition helmet called Speed of Thought. And you can pre-order this starting tomorrow on the Exor Helmets website. So here we go.
XPHP has always been about advocating safe riding. So it was but inevitable that we would design our own helmet. And that we did last year along with Exor Helmets on the occasion of 16 years of XPHP. And this year we are out with the second XPHP Exor helmet. and we call it the speed of thought. We all love to speed on our motorcycles. However, there is nothing faster and more powerful than our own mind. And therefore, we must obey the rules of the road. And that is the foundation of the design of our second helmet. The 299 shows the magic number or the hand of God, which has been decided by the manufacturers to be the limiting speed of modern superbikes. And below that, it reminds you that nothing is faster than your imagination. So why to put your brain and body at risk by overspeeding on roads? The top of the helmet has a biker wearing the first edition of the XVHP helmet. The back retains our iconic philosophy of I the biker. The rest of the elements show the most important part of the motorcycle, the heart, its engine, and the exhaust pipes blurting out flames, which are the equivalent of the incredible creativity the human mind is capable of outputting. The better part of the helmet shell is covered with human brain, which it protects, and the lightning bolts behind accentuate the neurons inside our brain. The spark plugs signify the synapses of our brain. We have designed this helmet along with the motographer and toxic skins, and we are proud to make this with the high quality assembly of Exor helmets. Ride safe. You can buy this helmet on xphp.com or exorhelmets.com or even offline all over India.
All right, so that was the speed of thought helmet, and I wanted to show you this helmet right now because the next couple of gentlemen that I'm going to go to, they're actually, training people to race on the tracks. And that gets me to Mr. Tarun Kumar S., who's the founder of CRA Motorsports. CRA stands for Coimbatore Racing Academy. Hello, do we have Mr. Tarun with us?
Hi, Sunny.
Hi. Welcome, and thank you so much for your time today. So my question is, what is the sole mission of CRA? And versions of the sport like MotoGP and WSBK. I mean, we have a guy from Malaysia in MotoGP. What is missing, and finally, what does motorcycling mean to you?
Okay, so first of all, I would like to thank XPHP for inviting me and would congratulate for 17 years of XPHP. It's a great thing what you're doing. It's because without media, all our athletes are nothing. So media is a great support where you make us to reach even to some part of the corners in the country. So when you come to motorsports, what I personally feel what lagging here is the age. So the age we start in India is too late, I would say. So the age should be like from 6 years, 7 years, where they start the career in the country. So by the age of 13 years, they would have been into an Asian region. So then by 15 or 16 years, they can enter into a European Championship, and step by step, they can enter into the World Championships. So that is one thing. And next thing is lack of infrastructure, you can say. And when you compare Malaysia and India, Malaysia is a very small country, but there is a lot of go-kart tracks where bikers go and practice. And the access to the track is more easy when compared to India. When in CRA, we did training programs and we did a race in Malaysia also. We took 30 riders from India and we made them to do trainings in Malaysia. The cost of doing a training for me, basically I am based out of Coimbatore. So I don't prefer to travel to Delhi. The same amount of transportation or taking riders, it is more cheaper if I do in Malaysia. For example, for me, the nearest airport would be Cochin. The flight fare to travel from south to north is more cheaper. I can travel to Malaysia, and also the riders feel that something different. We are riding in international tracks, and there are a lot of things already been developed there. When you compare to the nearest country, let's say Malaysia, they're like 5 years to 6 years already been ahead of India. So it is only because the access, let's say a karting track, anyone you go there, you arrive and ride anytime you wish. You go today, you pay 100 ringgits, you have a bike, you have a suit, everything is there on the track. But here in India, you have to look for a training school, or you have to look for a private track days. Then you have to book your slot, and then only. So even CRA was doing 45 days once we do training programs in Coimbatore Speedway. So yearly, I'm only doing 8 to 10 training programs in a year. So, and because the cost of renting out a track is again a big problem here. So what we are even doing post-COVID, after the situation is over, we have planned to do all weekends as a training weekends at least in a smaller go-kart tracks. When it comes to training, again, safety comes very important. So we have to hire an ambulance. We have to have the entire team on the track. So again, it's a very expensive sport. So we are trying to simplify all these barriers, and that's how we can make more number of riders to take part in the sport, and we can take more number of riders to abroad. This is one point. And when it comes to motorcycle, it is something, my first impression on motorcycle, I would say it is something happiness, which gives me happiness, a self-pleasure. So my childhood, when I was a child, when I was doing my schooling, my dream bike was RX 100. The sound of the two-stroke, and that's what the bike I want at the age of 6th grade or 7th grade when I was doing. So later I started getting into it. Luckily, I was born in Coimbatore. I used to go watch races in KMS. And that's how I slowly entered into the field. And every day I feel it is a new learning. I've been working for past 5 to 6 years as a test rider for tire manufacturers, also as a full consultant. So every day it is a new feelings when I ride a motorcycle. I ride different kind of motorcycles. It can be a road bike, it can be a sport bike, it can be a tourer bike. But every time when I ride a motorcycle, when I'm coming back to my home, I'm learning something. So as Nandakumar sir said, every day is a learning when you ride a motorcycle.
Right. So I think practice makes a man perfect, and it is the same for racing. Thank you so much for the insights, Tarun. And now I would like to build on what you said and shift my focus to Navneet. Hello, who's also a professional racing instructor from the Racer Academy. Thank you so much for being here. So basically, my question to you is that what is the issue? Is it the weather? Because weather is one of the main problems, constraints I see in India. It's a very hot, humid country mostly. And the second question is that, you are an instructor yourself, right? Do you think that India needs more instructors, better instructors? One thing is having infrastructure, and one thing is having people who can teach, quality people who know how to teach. I mean, going fast does not mean you can teach well. You need to be a quality teacher. And finally, what does motorcycling mean to you?
Yeah, as you said, the infrastructure is the main key here. See, for example, if I have to play cricket, I just need to spend 500 rupees for a bat, 50 rupees for a ball, and I need 5 people. I can go play anywhere. If I have to take motorcycling into that picture, imagine what is the cost. It is almost 100 times or 1,000 times. So that's where the lack of audience is coming in. So there's no audience, there's no people, there's no sponsors. The government doesn't want to look at it because there's no money coming in. So that is one thing. Now, coming to the point of the instructors, you're absolutely right. Not everyone can teach. Teaching is an art. Reading and telling out the same thing is different. Expressing what you read is different. So that's what, separates you from being a teacher. Not every rider can be a teacher. Everyone can ride. But you need to have that skill to analyze what is the mistake the student is doing. You need to calculate in your mind as what is the main corrective action, and you need to be able to explain it to him in a way he will understand. That is what separates you from a good teacher and a bad one. You have the knowledge, but if you're unable to express or tell him what he's doing wrong, he will never correct himself. So the key is, as I said, explaining it to the student, making him understand, and ensuring that he corrects his mistake. That's how your teaching is improved. I've been teaching from 2014. I've taught about 6,000 students till now, and every student is different. Every student is different. I've had people coming in from 13 years till 45, 48 years who have come to the academy. So it's a really difficult experience to understand people, especially in those 2 days of time. It's very difficult to analyze what a person is thinking. And again, most important thing is whatever we teach, they have to keep practicing. Otherwise, there is no point in, even if I do 100 classes to the same student, if he's not going to practice, he will not get there. And okay, so that's about it. So for motorcycling, it's kind of an emotion. So basically, I would say I started motorcycling on a ESD Road King 250cc. So I love the way you kick, you pump and kick. So that was my college bike initially. Then I moved on to a Pulsar. Then my entire 8 years was into an RD350. So motorcycling has been, it's kind of a thing that keeps me alive, no matter how bad my day is, how worse, how good. If there's anything in the world that you can do when you're happy, sad, crying, or no matter what the weather is, it's raining, it's cold, it's hot, there's something that I found that I can do and that keeps me happy is motorcycling. I was into touring initially for 8 years, I say. That's when I wrote to one of your prestige events that you invited me for, the United Motorcycle BIC ride, So that was kind of something amazing that you guys did. And I didn't want to ride any other bike, so I rode my own R15 from Bangalore to Delhi to see the guys. And I missed that event. I reached at 5, the time the event closed. So yeah, it doesn't matter what you guys ride, as long as you have the passion for it. And for me, teaching has been my passion. And I always believe that if you have the foundation very well constructed, the students' abilities and skill set will improve a lot. The core is the main when you teach. That is why I always insist, even at RICR, I've always insisted I only want to teach beginners, because that's where I feel I can have a bigger impact on them, on their riding, and as well as, learning myself.
Right.
Every time I teach someone, I learn.
But thank you so much, Navneet. And, people are thanking you for training them at the Apex Academy when you were teaching there. So they're thanking you on our live video. Now I will move on to Nitin Acharya, who's waiting for us very patiently. Hello, Nitin. And you are from Bangalore, and you have, been basically you are in the technology sector. You have a company. So I'm going to answer. I'm going to ask you a question, which is essentially that how can technology help motorcycling grow in India? I'm not talking about internet speed here. I'm talking about something maybe augmented reality, or those kind of things which are not yet present here in India, which can actually make bikers' lives easier in India.
Yeah, to start with, at least with the advent of AR and VR, I think that is one sector which is enhancing virtual learning side of things. I think that is one sector which could bring in something like a tutorial sort of a thing that could help beginners try out a motorcycle sort of a thing. Basically, it would function like a game at the starting, but they would get a real world simulation that they could ride in, and that would actually get them used to the friction, the air pressure, and etc., and all the other things that somebody experiences when riding a motorcycle. If somebody is very serious into getting into, say, motorsport per se, I think that is the first sector that technology can invent or, let's say, innovate in at this point of time.
So I think Samrat 6K Isle of Man has some simulator, something of that sort already. But is there a way that you think that you can liaise with the government to maybe increase safety using apps or built-in functions in motorcycles? Like ABS is there, but I'm talking about just purely electronic messaging system from the motorcycle or something. They fall something like that.
Yeah, definitely. See, one of the things is OBD2, which is widely being used. I think there are other standards that is coming in right now. So there could be something like tagging a motorcycle with your phone, and probably when you're on a ride, keeping your friends and family informed how safe, or if any mishap happens, things like those, that can definitely be worked on. That's one innovation side of things that I think is still lacking. And I think that can be innovated on. And the computers in the bikes, the ECUs are extremely powerful at this point of time, and they're very capable of handling all of these things. So I think something like a simple mobile application or a dashboard that could help a person track and as well keep their friends and family informed in terms of any mishap happening, or including just the driver the rider himself could get to know in sense of any part failure that might occur. Maybe AI and ML could play a part here to signify whether there is any failure that can occur in the future or in the near future. So that is one thing definitely that could be done. And this will definitely require massive amount of data. So everybody should be open enough to actually share their right data, their fault in terms of the devices that are being used, the engine data, so that it can be analyzed and actually every rider can benefit out of it. It's more of a community approach that needs to be taken. I would say rather than the government, I think it's all us riders who have to come together to actually help build something like this.
Thank you so much, Nitin. And before I move on, you've got a beautiful bike, Nabi Gusta.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoy riding it.
Oh, yeah, definitely, yes.
I would like to move on to Krishnagiri with Ilam Parithi from Salim Riders Club. Thank you for waiting for us. Now, my question is that you are from a relatively small town of Krishnagiri. So what do you think are the benefits and disadvantages of being from such a place compared to a city like Bangalore?
So, hi Sunny. First, I'd like to congratulate XPHP for stepping into 17th year. And I also thank you, XPHP, for inviting me for this panel, representing actually Salem and Erode, Salem Bikers Club actually. So, to your question, as you say, Bangalore, Chennai, Coimbatore have a very good exposure to that. And even though what people don't know is like Salem E-Road has a very good exposure on biking. Mostly the E-Road and Salem region, there are a lot of dirt bike racers and there are a lot of people who tries to get to racing and all. So the main disadvantage is like they lack exposure, they lack training. So when I started my biking in 2009, I wanted to go to one-make Yamaha one-make championship, but I don't know how to do it. So I even don't know how to start, where to start. So those kind of things. We basically lack that kind of exposure on that time. So now the technology has been improved, and moreover, the things, the racing schools, the gears and a lot of other things has been easily available in the market, and we can able to easily access it everything. So that makes it better for now.
All right. So, well, thank you so much, for your insights. And, we have a couple of more people from Krishnagiri. So, but before that, I would like to go again back to Bangalore and ask Vikas, who is the co-owner of Carbonado India. Hi, Vikas. And you're also... Hi. So, we were talking about a lot of brands, international brands, but here you are making your own brand, trying to go global. You have a great product. my question to you is that, do you think that India started making much better gears? And, we don't actually need to look out of a country now for, some specific riding gears. Maybe we have a little bit more way to go, but I think we are getting there. So what are your thoughts about that?
First, on behalf of entire, my voice is getting echo. I'm feeling
No,
like
no,
it's
you're
getting
okay.
echo.
Okay.
Okay. So first, on behalf of our own team, whole team, like Carbonado, we congratulate XBHP for 17 years, and it's been a really impressive journey you have done, guys. So, in answer to your question, like India can really get on to that level of manufacturing some really good riding gears or something which any biker can use to any level. So I think yes, we are getting to the level. Of course, the brand like Rhinox and some like Juice, like some brands we already see, and in Carbonado also we try to build some products which are meant for the bikers. Like we have some new developments going on, and yes, like us, we believe India is full of innovation. We have a lot of innovators in the past, now also, and now since in the lockdown, people are actually somewhere forced to think in a unique way and try their own innovation and the creativity. So I'm sure like from now onwards you'll see more people coming to India, and the Indians also like getting into the new products and the things they were thinking of, they will probably try to prototypes and get into the real products. And I'm sure like we have the capability. Of course we are having industries. India has a strong background of textiles, and we are of course rich in leathers. We are now having world class machineries. Of course, the tech is there. So I think we can probably build one of the finest brands. It's not just the country; it's like it should be imported. So we see many brands, and then we already started seeing, and I'm pretty positive that we'll see many more in coming years. And since now this after COVID, even there is a chance that India might get into some of the unique products which even China or the competitive countries like the coast-wise also they are not producing. So I'm sure the survival of the fittest. So people would get into the ideas and the things they can take it to the next level. We are positive, and we are already seeing that.
Well, thank you so much, Vikas, for your insights.
Thank you so
And
much.
of course, you're making a lot of motorcycling products and not car products. So you are a motorcyclist and a cyclist yourself. But here, I would like to take an opportunity to tell you, whoever is watching online, that we actually launched two XBHP Carbonado edition bags.
Yes.
First one is the Carbonado GT2, which you see in front of you on your screens, the live viewers. And the second one is actually utility bag. It's a very beautiful, different kind of a looking bag, which is a Carbonado Vector, which you see in front of you. So now moving on, thank you so much, Vikas. I would like to move on to Soban. Soban, who's our exhibition Spock from Bangalore. So my question to you is, Soban, thank you so much for being here. So what does motorcycling mean to you? And have you made any lifelong friends and acquaintances through a community like XBHP? Oh, we cannot hear you. No sound. All right, so he's having some technical issues. So I'll move on to the next person while he sorts it out. So I'm going to Mohammad Mujassam, who's the XBHP Spock for Krishnagiri, and who's also from Team 24 Bikers. Are you there?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much for being there. So my question to you again is like, what does motorcycling mean to you? And do you think that you can use motorcycling to teach young people the way to good life? I mean, things and teachings that they can use when they grow up, like discipline and all these kind of things.
Yeah. First of all, I'd like to thank XBHP for 17 years of and congratulations. And from my side, teaching youngsters is the main reason of our team. Main thing of our team. We all always teach young people, young riders in our town. We always say them ride safe, to wear helmet, to gear up your gear it up, and we say that we are from small town. When we're riding it, all see that what he was wearing and what he was doing, where they going. And, sometimes they look crazy. They say that என்னப்பா ஏதோ மாட்டிட்டு போயிட்டு இருக்கான், அடிக்கிற வெயில்ல ஏதோ மாட்டிட்டு போயிட்டு இருக்கானே அப்படின்னு, like in Tamil they say that. So nowadays we changed it. From like Samrat sir says that every door has a razor, and we are changed that every door has a biker in Krishna now, and wearing a helmet and wearing a gear and riding all over the India, and telling we are, that we ride it here and there and something else. And like we have a good legend like Nanda Kumar sir, and we all inspired with him. And like to say something in Tamil also. எங்க வேணா போங்க, எங்க வேணா வாங்க, பைக்குன்றதே வந்து எந்த விஷயமும் இல்லை. சின்ன பைக்கா ஓட்டினாலும் சரி, பெரிய பைக்கை ஓட்டினாலும் சரி, டெஃபினெட்லா நீங்க பேஷனை ஃபாலோ பண்ணுங்க. உங்களுடைய பேஷன் இருந்தால் நீங்க எப்பவுமே பைக் ஓட்டிகிட்டே இருக்கலாம். ஹெல்மெட் போட்டுட்டு ஓட்டுங்க எப்பவுமே. அண்ட் டு கம் லைக் திஸ், biking is not like that. You should dream it, and you should need a passion, and that will brings you a biker. It takes you to the biking community, and it takes you to road of biking. And we have now more than 50 members in my club, in our club. What all has riding gears, all has a perfect discipline of roads and all these things. When we ride, we used to take 20-25 people on our every ride. Every time we start at before sunrise, and we end at after sunset. This is a thing what we do. And for youngsters, we always say ride safe, ride pure, and wear helmet. All use a good helmet, good quality helmet, and that saves your life. And already we save some members' life too, where we're saying that wear helmet always, wear helmet always, wear gears always. And some bikers came to our store and HQ. They say that you saved a life, that you said me to wear helmet, and we got an accident, but helmet saves my life. That feel proud to us that we doing something in our town, like that, something in our town. So to be like a biker, we very proud that we doing something good for a young generation, coming young generation for biking field. And we
you have a great mentor also. I'm sorry to cut you off here. I think you have a great mentor which is sitting right next to you.
Yeah.
So, I have to move on to the next because we are actually running out of time here of the live video, the number of minutes. So thank you so much, Mujassam, for your inputs. And I would like to move on to Karthikeya, who's our ex-bishop spoke from Coimbatore. Thank you so much for waiting patiently. I think this is one of the longest live sessions overall we have ever had till we started the tour. My question to you is that, besides that, what motorcycling means to you, does having a racing track in town, like the Kari Speedway in your city, accelerate the motorcycling culture overall, or it's just useful for people who want to go on the track?
Okay, fine. First of all, congrats for all of us for the 17th anniversary, and I'm happy to be a part of XYZ for a very, very long time. Okay, cool. So for me, motorcycling, it brings me an identity, and I grew up hearing the slogan sound in the early 90s. That is how I have been grown. My aspiration was to get a slogan bike when I grew old, which I actually succeeded. I don't like RX. Sorry, RX guys. I was been more into the slogan and traveling. Later, for me, biking is actually rejuvenate my mind and soul. I'm just using myself as a tool to get me focused on new things. So whenever you're upset in a business or in a personal life, I used to take the bike for a short ride. I feel it like all my worries has been gone. So this is how I had felt. Okay. Then coming to your next question, yes. Luckily, I was being placed in a place where racing for motorcycle is a part of a culture. If you come as a like and Coimbatore, you can find so many bike racing will go mostly into dirt racing. Something will happen in every week. So mainly with the two strokes. Two strokes is part of in Coimbatore, and yes, we can we got an access to curry motor, but at the same time, as Tarun and everybody said in the panel, it is a very expensive for us to organize a track ride and something like that. But we enjoy in another form, like in an off-roading dirt race, which is going to which will happen in and around Coimbatore. So I think I answered your question.
Well, thank you so much, Karthik. I think there was something wrong with your mic as well. A lot of disturbance. But I would like to take this opportunity to tell our live viewers that we are getting the 2 new T-shirts, which you see in front of you on your screens, along with Karthik. So he's going to basically send you those T-shirts if you order them. And the first T-shirt is the Either Biker with the Power, and the second one is Either Biker Long Road. That is what we call it. And now moving on to there are a couple of gentlemen who are left. So I'm going to start with Santosh. Hello, you have waited a long time, so thank you for that. So my question to you is that do you prefer to ride solo or in a group, and how important is the ride company in a ride for you?
All right. Hey, first, congratulations for completing the 17 years. I guess I've been in this journey from 2003 and I've seen the change. It is actually phenomenal, and XBHP has stood the test of time and has been doing exceptionally well. So big congratulations and thanks to everybody who is a part of the platform. So yes, answering to your question. So I mean, for me, it is more about riding. So a solo or a group ride does not really matter that much, because sometimes what happens is a lot of planning goes into group rides and you have people dropping out due to their constraints or disagreements. So at that time, for me, what matters is riding. So if I have to go solo, I will. And sometimes it's about less riding and more interacting with the people you've met on this platform. So it may not be XBHP. It's more about once you start riding, you start meeting people and make friends, and they remain friends for life. So at that time, the group ride is still very much fine, because you ride to a place where it's about 5-6 hours. And for us, being in Bangalore, right, the proximity to locations is something really amazing. So you have destinations of 200-300 kilometers in all directions. On the map, you need to close your eyes, look at some destination, and you will find something exciting there. So in that sort, you ride out to a place, spend a lot of time, and 2 days of biking discussions over the weekend, no problems at all. So that is something that we really like doing. But again, on a longer group rides, there are constraints and challenges that come in, which you will have to be very careful about the set of people that you're choosing, because your mindset, the bandwidth, all of that matters, because some people have different ways of doing things which might not really suit you. So on a long trip, especially when a lot of people are doing multi-day rides, right, like heading up to Ladakh or now the Northeast. So in that case, if you have a wrong company, your whole ride is messed up. So it's important that you choose the right company, and especially people whom you know, their riding styles, their advantages and disadvantages. So that way it matters a lot. And what was your second question?
Well, I think I've forgotten myself, but I think you answered most of it. And the only thing which is there is like, what does motorcycling mean to you, which you've already said. So, I mean, great to hear your insights, and thank you so much for the kind words. And, I think Soban now, who's also from Bangalore, he's back online with his audio as well.
Hello.
Right. So my question to you was that have you made any lifelong friends through a community like XPHP?
Hello, I'm audible.
Yes.
Hey, hello everybody. Firstly, Sunny, big congratulations on the 17th anniversary. You guys are really awesome. I think you guys are the only auto media company who is doing such a big task for the biking community, not just in India, but I think worldwide also. Coming to the question part, yes, biking, I have made a lot of friends and really close friends also, because when we go out, when we meet different bikers, the one thing is common is almost everyone is very cool tempered people, always open to help others. They are not racist. So biking is something, it's like when you'll go out, when you start meeting people, you will get to see a very good and beautiful part of life. And as Ashwarya mentioned, motorcycling is a way of life. Personally, I also think as a way of life only. I belong to a creative background, not full time into motorcycling, but whenever I feel stuck somewhere, I think motorcycling is something which like helped me to break that stuck. Or whenever I want to talk to light-hearted people and all, and it's like it's a very good thing that you can reach out to bikers and all for any help. There has been situations that I know ki if I'll pick up my phone and do a phone call, then there are people who will be giving positive replies only. And it's not like you chill with them every time and they are very good friends, but you know them through biking community only, and they do help us all the time. I don't have such a lifelong friend till now because my friend circle is very small. But yeah, there are people who always have a positive side when you look for help and you look for good acknowledgement or suggestions.
Right.
There are people in this biking community who always comes up.
Well, I have one of your posters that you gave to us from the Grand Indian road trip, I think.
Yeah.
You presented it to us. It was looking like a movie poster. Thank you so much for that. We still have that in our office here. And thanks for your insights, Soban. So now I'm going to move to the last gentleman who has been, I think, waiting very patiently. Manjunath, who's from Bangalore. So now my question to you is that usually it is the job of the police to teach the law of the road, to bikers or to people who are riding or driving on the road. But it seems like since couple of years, there is a need to teach the police that not everyone who's in riding gear is basically racing or breaking the law. So what do you have to say about that? Because a lot of instances, especially in Chennai and south, people are stopping, even adventure riders, and they're asking why you get up like this, where you're going, and stuff like that.
True. When we started riding around 2000, I started very young at 18, and the usual thing was like no gears were usually worn when you're riding. And when we went in, understanding the confidence and bringing the gear is most important in our passion, what we are following. So it's usually that we have found something strange to cops when they're in the year of 2013-14 and 15-16, of course. And now, actually, the Bangalore at least, the cops or anybody who's into this traffic rules and regulations, they have understood that we have owned the responsibility, and they think in a different way what we were able to look at in the year of 2013 and 14. So usually we were stopped first to understand, even though we have all the documents carried as a responsibility, people have taken into a task that they have missed out the way of chance. They are seen in a different way.
Yes, of course. And after doing couple of activities in social media along with the Bangalore community police, people are aware now that these guys are one who is most responsible than the common people across the Bangalore. So I think that kind of changes that we are able to see it from 2018, and it has continued till now.
Right. Thank you so much, Manjunath, for your inputs. And it's like well past dinner time. So I just want to thank all of you. And once I say bye to you, but I just want to tell the live viewers that next up is Mumbai Pune on 16th of July, and then 18th of July we have Surat, Vadodara, and Ahmedabad, and then 19th of July Jaipur, Indore, and Raipur. And before and we will end everything in the Northeast on 21st of July. So that's the remaining trip, the virtual road trip. So I want to thank all of the panelists here. Thank you so much for patiently waiting, and all of you must be hungry. So please proceed to dinner, and all you guys online, thank you so much for all the love, and ride safe and see you around soon.